What is stopping you from achieving high scores in reading, writing, listening, and speaking of the OET examination? Well, I'm going to go through each area today to help you get to that next level, whatever level you're at right now, whether you're at C, C+, these kinds of areas in some of the areas, or you're getting a grade B in a couple of areas and you're getting a C, C+ in others. So I'm going to go through each section and let you know what you can do to immediately start boosting your scores. And if you start to do these things consistently, you'll start to see big improvements in all 4 areas. So let's start off with OET speaking. A lot of students, and I have done so many role plays over the last year or so with students, and what the big mistakes that I see is they're not actively listening when they are playing the role of the nurse or the doctor. They're not listening to the interlocutor when they're playing the role of the carer or the patient. So they're so caught up in their own mind of what they need to say next, because they keep thinking it's a speaking test. But your listening skills are really important, and it's in effect you're still being marked on your listening skills, because you've got to listen to what the interlocutor tells you, and then come back with something that answers their question, and then moves you on the journey to actually completing the role play in a timely and effective manner. So make sure your active listening skills are there, because I think a lot of students are panicking, they're not concentrating, and they're just thinking, what do I need to say next? But they're not listening. So you must listen. The other thing that I see is a big mistake in OET speaking is a lack of empathy or reassurance. And this also ties in with what I've just said previously about active listening skills, because when you are trying to think what to say next, the interlocutor could have said something like, I'm really scared about the chest complaints I'm having, am I going to die? And instead of saying, don't worry, I'm here to reassure you that is not going to happen, I'll support you, these are all only minor chest complaints, you're not going to die, blah blah blah. They don't reassure the person based on what they said. I even come across situations where I've said that as playing the role of the interlocutor, and then they say, okay, please tell me about your other symptoms. And you're like, no, go back. I just told you I'm scared of dying. So you cannot just move on to the next part of the role play. It's common sense that you're going to have to reassure these people. And this, like I said, comes into your active listening skills. So really, really important. So the 2 things that I'm telling you about today for speaking is active listening. You must listen very carefully. It's not just a speaking test, it's a listening test as well. And then the second thing is empathy and reassurance. Now moving on to, and please let me know in the chat box if you understand how important these things are for active listening and reassurance and empathy, and whether you're doing these right now or not. Okay, so send me an email as well about it too. So the next one, OET writing. So many students are either including far too much information from the case notes or far too little, okay, in order to satisfy the task set. So you are marked on your ability to satisfy, of course, what the task is, what the question is that you're being provided with. So you must include the information that person needs that you're writing to. So whether it's a referral letter, discharge letter, transfer letter, whatever that might be. Remember that the guide is 180 to 200 words. A lot of students get too hung up on that. They think, oh no, what happens if I write 178 words, or if I write 202 words? If it's a little bit under or a little bit over, don't worry too much. You're not penalised by the amount of words that you write. Remember that the examiners in Australia, they are very busy marking so many letters that they're not going to go through how many words you wrote, 1, 2, 3, 4 words, 5 words, 6 words. They're not really thinking like that, okay? So it is just a guide. And if you're writing, but when I say it's a guide, this goes back to what I was just saying just previously about the fact that if you're writing too many you're including too much information from the case notes. If you're writing 350 words, then this is just too much. If you're writing 100 words, this is too little. You can't satisfy the task set because you've not written enough, or you've written too much if you've been including too much information from the case notes. So what I would say is, in your preparation, you can roughly work out how many words you're writing per sentence, and then just count the number of sentences. You can roughly come to the actual amount that you are writing. What is the normal amount that you're writing within the time that you're given, the 40 minutes you've got for actually writing. So that is really, really important to point out. Then moving on to the reading section, and I'll probably talk about the reading and listening together. And these are the big mistakes. And if you can overcome these, then you are going to really get those grade B's and grade A's in reading and listening. But also, looking, like I said previously, about the speaking and writing, get those issues sorted and you'll get your A's and B's. So reading and listening together. When it comes to these areas, students become so obsessed, so overly focusing on, I need OET practice materials, I need OET materials. And you can practice 100, 200, 500 of these practice examinations and still get the same score, because you're being exam focused instead of practice and improvement focused in terms of your skills. You need to improve your reading and listening skills. You cannot just do exam after exam after exam. Now, mock exams are really, really important, okay? I've seen students who go through our OET mock exams that my Swoosh English team and I have prepared. They've gone through them and they've been able to make the improvements because we've got analysis videos after students have taken the mock exam to analyse what they did right, what they did wrong, how they can improve their scores. So mock exams are really important, but you cannot just get the improvements particularly if you're at a lower level of English or an intermediate level of English. You can't just use OET practice materials. You've got to improve your reading and listening skills. So non-OET materials and OET materials together will help you to make the improvements in your scores from C++ to B and even an A for reading and listening. And I've seen students go through our Swoosh English programs who've gone from a C+ to an A, a C to a B, and even an A. You can make those improvements, but being overly obsessed and focused with just using OET materials, practice materials, is not going to help you to pass, I'm afraid. You need to not only to use non-OET materials, but the OET practice materials after you've taken those, is to analyse, review, understand where you were going wrong, and then you'll start to see those improvements. So make sure, when I talk about non-OET materials, I'm talking about podcasts you can find online for free, YouTube videos where you can just listen to the YouTube. You might listen to the YouTube video. You might just want to have the phone put it on YouTube on your phone, have it in your pocket, and then if you're going for a walk or exercise, or you're on the train or on the bus or whatever that might be, you can even just not watch it because in your home you might just want to listen to it. So that's really, really important. Podcasts, like I said, YouTube videos. You can also listen to music. Music really helps with English, and it doesn't just have to be medically focused. It can be non-medical as well. And then you've got things online to do with as I mentioned on YouTube, you've got healthcare related kind of hospital programs. 24 Hours in A&E is one. Casualty, Holby City, all these kinds are really good. Like I said, with the podcast, you can get different consultations that you can listen to between a healthcare professional and a patient. They're also really, really good. When it comes to reading, and the reading non-OET materials, the Guardian newspaper, the Times, the British Medical Journal, okay, the Australian Medical, the American Medical Journal, you've got ABC Newsletter. You can find all of these online, and these will really, really help to improve, Okay, they'll really help you to improve your skills. So go on, these are completely free. You can go on Google, you can find them, they're available to you. So like I said, OET practice materials and non-OET practice materials together will help you to make those improvements in your scores. Okay, so those are the big tips today for OET reading, writing, listening and speaking. The other one I want to mention actually for reading and listening is the big issue that's stopping students from improving their scores is time management. Okay, if I'm thinking, for example, I use the example of reading part A, you know, you've got 15 minutes. It's a real speed reading exercise to practice, to test your ability to locate information and then answer the question. So you've only got like 45 seconds for each mark available to you in this section. So you have to be prioritizing your time in the right way. Some students spend far too much time on each question, and then they are not able to answer every single question. So time management, you must prepare effectively, you know, in your preparation time. You must be very disciplined with your time. I could give you hundreds of issues that are stopping you in all 4 areas of OET, but I just want to focus on the main ones that I'm seeing from students right now. So those are the 4 areas. Like I'll just quickly review. Speaking, you need to show reassurance and empathy, okay? And you need to have active listening skills. For writing, don't include too much information from the case notes or too little information from the case notes in order to satisfy the task set. That's where a lot of your marks come from, aside from vocabulary and grammar, etc. Then the other things are for reading and listening. Time management, as I mentioned, very, very important. Be disciplined with how much time you're spending on each question, and not just focusing on OET materials. Focus on non-OET materials like podcasts, books, newspapers, medical journals, okay, as well as OET practice materials like mock examinations and exercises as well. So when I say exercise, I mean after you've taken the mock exam, you need to be able to analyze, okay? You need to be able to analyze what you've just taken and analyze the correct answers with the answers that you wrote and how you can improve moving forward. And I just want to let you know as well, we've got a couple of days left of our practice OET mock exam material package, where right now we have got all 4 mock exams for reading, writing, listening and speaking. We're going to give you 6, and the usual price is $99, but at the moment until 10th of March you've got 2 more days available. We're going to give you our OET writing mastery package, which would usually be $99, but you're going to get that as an extra bonus completely free. So you'll get 6 mock exams, you'll get all of our analysis videos. Like I said before, this is really important to help you improve and understand how you got those scores and how you can compare the correct answers with the actual answers that you wrote, and how you can best improve with the score as well. You get all of the analysis videos for all 6 complete mock examinations. And then the OET Writing Mastery course, this will give you a bank of OET Grade A and Grade B letters, so you can also see how you can improve. You can look at other people's letters and the comments from the teachers and see how you can also produce Grade A and Grade B letters. We've got an OET Writing Model Answer video course included in that bundle, so you can see what it is, breaking it down from the beginning to the end of the letter, how you can create a Grade A letter or Grade B. And then we've got our OET Writing video course. We've got one for doctors and we've got one for nurses, taking you step by step through all of the video lessons and exercises. So that's available for 2 more days. Click the link in the description if you want to pass your examination on your next attempt. And these, like I said, these practice examinations are very, very important, but you need the analysis afterwards, and that's why these packages have got that included. So hopefully all the tips were helpful to you today. Remember, you've got 2 days left of the promotion if you want to get all 6 complete mock exams and OET Writing Mastery course, all for just $99, and it's available until you pass. You've got unlimited attempts of the mock exams as well. So thank you very much. Hopefully all of these tips for reading, writing, listening and speaking have been helpful to you today, and I look forward to seeing you pass. This is Alex from Swoosh English. Have a great day studying, and I hope we can help you achieve your dreams of becoming a doctor or nurse in the UK or Australia.